Hello everybody, this is Namtox from NTF Gaming, and I'm back with another episode of Factual Opinions, the only place to get the correct opinion on the state of video games. And today, we're going to take a brief look at Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, the newest title in the Uncharted series. Now this had started off as a DLC piece of content for Uncharted 4, but since then the project has grown in scope and it kind of just outgrew what a standard 2 to 3 hour expansion would fit for a big single player game like Uncharted, and it became its own standalone product. And let me just say, the title of this game cannot be more apt. I feel as with this game, they've kind of reset themselves and recaptured the essence of the best of Uncharted. And a couple years ago I did my first review, and it was of Uncharted 4, and that's why I don't do reviews based on technical specs, because visually, audio, the controls, all of that was fantastic in Uncharted 4. I mean, it looked fantastic, it was great, the acting, the voice acting, all top notch, but that's not all the game is made out of. And with that project, with Neil Druckmann at the lead, he took that game in a direction that didn't really feel very Uncharted. Yes, it had Nathan Drake and it had Sully and it had big set pieces, but everything just dragged. Every piece of adventuring, climbing felt like it took 10 minutes too long. The great combat encounters were very few and far between, and the set pieces were fantastic. However, you had to get through, 2 to 3 hours of slog to get to them. And it really just took away what I felt like makes Uncharted at its best. And that's a very brisk action-adventure with a tone of lightheartedness, really cool villains, great character interactions, some rabble and dabble about some kind of ancient artifact somewhere. Nothing too crazy. And I feel like this game, sitting at the 7 hour and 25 minute mark, I feel like was a much better experience overall, because you got all the things you want out of an Uncharted. You got the beautiful visuals, the exciting platforming, the great combat, the back and forth dialogue, the tomb raiding, if you will, and the sense of adventure, danger, and excitement that you should feel from an Uncharted game. I feel like the shorter length of the game does it wonders, because there's really no time for slog. There's really no time for sections to feel like they overstayed their welcome. You go to an area, you do something cool in it, and before you get bored, you're on to something else, and it moves at a very, very great pace. I was never bored. It's just another level. The characters of Chloe and Nadine are fantastic. We've seen them before, but seeing them interact with each other, the way they build up their trust, the way they build up the feelings about each other, they start to pry into each other's past. It's honestly, I feel, pulled off better than Nate and his brother in Uncharted 4. I was really invested in these characters, the moments between them, and I loved being in the central place, getting to the end. Great villain with disease. I feel like this is definitely the best Uncharted, I think, since 2. It's the most fun I've had playing through one of these games. It's fantastic. The visuals, of course, are stupendous. I just got a 4K monitor, and this game is stunning on this display. I don't know what else to say. Uncharted 4 is just, it was okay, and I caught a lot of flack for that, but I feel like Lost Legacy really propels it forward. These new directors, I hope that they take care of the franchise from now on. Neil Druckmann is great, but I feel like his style is more befitting of a Last of Us type of game, and that kind of mood in gravitas doesn't necessarily translate over into Uncharted, for me anyways. I know there's some people who loved it, but for me, that's just not what I'm looking for in an Uncharted game. So if you are a fan of Uncharted, if you are a little bit spurned by 4 and don't really feel like you can get back into the series, definitely hop on. For the price it is, the experience you're going to get, it's definitely worth it. It's an absolute buy. The multiplayer is brought over from Uncharted 4, so in regards to the multiplayer, if you were a fan of that stuff there, then you have it here at least. I'm not such a big fan of Uncharted 4 multiplayer. There's so much boosters and DLC and cosmetic stuff that it kind of just pushes me away. But it plays great, and it runs smooth at 60 frames a second. So, in terms of that stuff, you can't go wrong. And there's a pretty healthy player population. So, that's my review. I actually give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's a fantastic product, and I feel absolutely worthy of being a $60 game if they wanted to go that way. But they didn't, and it's $40, which means in a couple weeks, I'm sure it'll be on sale at $29.99 or probably lower than that. I think it's a worthy experience and definitely deserving of the name Uncharted. It's my favorite one since 2. That's my factual opinion. 4 out of 5. Thanks everybody who watches my reviews. I couldn't do it without all of you. I appreciate every single one of you leaving me a like or a comment or feedback, whether negative or positive. I really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. My name is Nantox. I'm from NTF Gaming. Have a good day, everybody.